Done yet?
Just started.
Oh, okay. Well, I got here in time.
Yep. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sasquatch Performance Garage. Today we're going to be working on my mom's 2007 Toyota 4Runner with the 4.7 2UZ-FE. And we're going to be doing a timing belt on this thing. Currently it has 220,000 miles on it with the original timing belt. I've inspected the timing belt recently, and timing belt actually looks fine, but we're going to go ahead and replace it because we are going on a road trip here in the next month or so. And first off, they're going on the first half of the road trip by themselves, my mom and my dad, and so I want to make sure that the car is all up to snuff and ready to go for them. So I'm going to take you along for the ride on this and kind of show you the little ins and outs of it. I know there's a few videos online about how to do it already, but hopefully I can make this pretty easy and simple for everybody to understand, and along with, you know, maybe some decent commentary. So let's go ahead and get rolling on it. All right, so what we got done so far, like we said before, we took off the little plenum cover here. We got two 10mm nuts. We then took off the intake tube. Got a 10mm there, 10mm there. I'm gonna have to disconnect the mass airflow sensor with the wire that goes to it, along with this little hose that connects to it, this little hose that connects to it, and this hose. Take those three hoses off. The first two here have clamps on it. From there, pull those off. You can take the whole intake tube out. We then took out the battery just to get it out of the way, make sure we don't do any sparking or anything like that. And one thing, when you're, no matter what you're doing on a vehicle, always disconnect the negative battery cable. You never know if you might touch it or short something out, then you have a lot bigger issue from there. Once we got all that done, we took off the cooling fan and the fan clutch. Got 4 nuts here that hold the fan clutch on. Once you loosen that fan clutch, you can then take out the radiator shroud. It has 2 bolts here, this one here, this one here. They are both 10mm nuts. You then pull them out as an assembly because you don't have enough room to pull out each one individually. On that fan shroud as well, you do have the coolant reservoir. You can leave it pretty much bolted up other than the one bolt that is bolted to the radiator. You can pull that all out at once. From there, we took off our radiator hoses, upper one from here to here, and then the lower one down to here, which is kind of a pain in the butt with the clamp. Then goes up to here. We then took off the thermostat housing cover and then loosened up the power steering pump, loosened up the alternator, and then took that off because you do need to get the alternator out of the way to get the tensioner out of the way, and you got to have the tensioner out of the way to do the whole dang thing. So then we have a 10mm bolt here, one in the stud in the middle, and then one down here to take off the passenger side timing belt cover. Then there are 2 12mm bolts, one here that goes through the water pump, and then one right up here that goes through the water pump as well. Take those off, and then you have that middle cover will come out also. So we're going to go ahead, finish taking out this tensioner. Bada bing, bada boom. So this is an original one as well. We'll probably go ahead and replace this. Bearing sounds good. There's a little bit of stuff at the very beginning, but really what we're worried about is that spring in there. We're going to replace that while we're at it, just to be safe. All right, so that's where we're at right now. We're going to continue to move on with the project. We're going to start on the driver's side here and finish taking everything out, and next portion most likely that we'll catch you up on is once we take off the water pump. So see you guys in a bit. All right, guys, so since we last were on here, we got the bracket off for the fan clutch and pulley. We got the AC compressor off. We also got the timing all taken care of. So the AC compressor has got 3 bolts, pretty self-explanatory, pretty straightforward. You got a bolt here, here, and one in the very back you got to get to. From there, the bracket's got about 3 bolts, plus a small little nut you got to take off a little stud, and then it will pull right off pretty easy. Where we're going to run into some trouble is taking the timing belt off. Now, you read all the different instructions like the service manuals and stuff like that. It tells you to turn it off to 50 degrees before top dead center on the crankshaft, which has the little timing mark go straight up. Normal top dead center is with that timing mark to this little nubbin right here on the oil pump. So it says turn to 50 degrees before top dead center before you take the tensioner off and stuff like that. Well, when you do that, obviously the timing of the crank or the camshaft is going to be back a little bit, and if you just say let it go on its own, the camshafts will actually spring forward or spring backwards. Like the passenger side camshaft actually sprung forward clockwise, and the driver's side camshaft sprung backwards or counterclockwise. And if you just let those go without holding them tightly, you can actually, that's where you can actually damage your valves and actually bend them a little bit, because they have a lot of spring pressure behind there. So what we did is we held the camshaft bolts here 19 millimeters with the wrench, and once we took the belt off, we just kind of let it go whichever way you wanted to go, which obviously this one went clockwise, this one went counterclockwise. So we let it go clockwise slowly to where it would rest. When it rests, it's fine. You won't have any damage or anything like that as long as you don't turn the crankshaft again. And we're not going to turn the crankshaft until we're ready to put it all back together. So this one, we did the same thing. Once we were ready to take off the belt off this one, we let it go backwards slowly, and it was good to go. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to take off the water pump. Looks like we got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 bolts to take off. It does have some studs that will have to come out already, but we'll be able to take that off and then start putting this thing back together. We're making pretty decent time. So we're taking our time. This is my mom's car. We haven't done a timing belt on a 2UZ-FE before, so this is all kind of new, and that timing belt situation kind of took a little bit of time for us because all the service manual stuff was saying conflicting stuff. It was kind of hard. It was frustrating, honestly. We got really frustrated and started getting angry because it was getting confusing as shit. So we had to do some more research on that, so that took a little bit of time there, but we'll definitely get this done by the end of the day, no problem on that. So we'll go ahead and keep on going. I'll bring you guys back once we're starting to put it back together. guys, so where we're at now is we put the timing belt on, we put the bracket on for the fan clutch, got the timing cover on there, we put the compressor back on, we got the harmonic balancer back on with torque down and this timing cover there. All pretty straightforward stuff. The timing belt, when you put it on, if it's a good timing belt, then it will have labels on there of how to put it on. So currently we've spun it around a little bit, so the label is not correct where it's at right here, but this one has arrows forward, so pointing to the front of the vehicle, which is how it's supposed to be orientated, with CR for crankshaft. So this one actually goes on the bottom of the crankshaft sprocket, where there's a little dot on the front of the crankshaft sprocket. You line up that with this CR there. Then you have your left side camshaft, so left from inside the vehicle. That will be lined up directly with the timing mark on the cam sprocket there, and along with the timing mark that's there. Then we have the right camshaft labeled on it as well, and it needs to be lined up directly with the timing mark there and the timing mark on the camshaft sprocket. Once you get all that done, get it back to top dead center from that 50 degrees before top dead center that they were talking about. You can then pull the pin on the tensioner and you can roll it around 1 or 2 times. Make sure the tensioner is fully tight. When you bring it back up to top dead center, you need to make sure that all the timing marks are back on dead even. The timing marks on the belt will not be even because the belt does not go one full rotation with 2 cranks of the pulley. But as long as the timing mark on the camshaft sprockets meet the timing marks on the rear, and that your timing mark on the crankshaft pulley matches up with the little nubbin on the oil pump, once you crank it around 2 times and it matches up, you are good to go. And then once you get that put back all the way on, your harmonic balancer should match up dead on with the 0 on the timing cover. So we're going to keep on throwing this back together. We're about to do the thermostat housing and then the 2 timing covers. Once we get those put back on, we'll do the tensioner, alternator, power steering pump, and we're pretty much done. So I'm going to go ahead and get back to it, guys, and I'll see y'all in a little bit. Alright guys, so where we're at, we got the tensioner put on, the middle timing cover, the upper timing cover, put the alternator back on, the power steering pump, all really simple stuff. One thing I would, kind of recommend doing that we did the opposite way would be this thermostat housing that we have to put on for on the water pump. I would kind of leave that to the very end because it does kind of get in the way of, say, being able to see some of the bolts for this middle timing cover and the upper timing cover here on the passenger side. I mean, you can put them on, we put them on just fine, but you can see them a lot easier if you didn't have that on there, and you can put it on at the very end because it's not in the way. It's not super important until you're ready to put on the hoses and stuff like that. But we got that put on. Got a new thermostat with new seal on there. Put the thermostat housing back on. Got a new lower radiator hose. Got a new upper radiator hose as well. We are waiting on the idler pulley to come in. So my mom's actually on the way to O'Reilly's to pick that up right now. Already paid for, just gotta go pick it up. We're gonna get that idler back on. Then we'll put the fan clutch back on along with the shroud. Get the serpentine belt put on, and we're good to go. I'll bring you guys back in. We're ready to start this bad boy back up. Alright everybody, so we got everything put back together. We got the intake tube on, got the reservoir all taken care of, the fan shroud, clutch, all that good stuff. Got the battery put back in. Only thing we haven't done is put the little plenum cover over there, just because we want to make sure that everything's good to go before we put, I guess, the last piece on. Everything else needs to be put on to make the car run. So mom's in the car right now. We're going to have her turn it on, see if everything starts up just fine. And there we go. So everything's good to go on this thing. We're going to go ahead and check some leaks, do a little test drive, but as far as the job is concerned, we're good to go. It's all finished, starts up beautifully. So guys, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching Sasquatch Performance Garage. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks.